はい、皆さんこんばんは、ウィンスです。今日の気分はどう？お元気でしょうか？やっと着いた。ついに中級レベルグラマーです。Hello everyone, this is Vince. How are you feeling right now? Are you feeling well today? ついに中級レベルにした中級レベルに着いた。Finally, we are now on our intermediate level lessons for grammar, and this is chapter 4 or intermediate lessons. The subtopics will be essentials for grammar, 必須な話題では、本日ですね、今回ご紹介するのは必須な話題です。Very well. For today, I will be introducing to you very essentials or very essential or requisite topic for us to understand intermediate level grammar. If you like this lesson, please press that like button and please subscribe. ライクボタンを押して高評価とチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。最後まで見てもらえたら嬉しいです。 I'll be very happy if you will watch until the end. それでは皆さん早速始めていきましょう。Very well then, let's begin. For the past few months, 皆さんyou've observed that if you can observe, we have been studying about we've been discussing about the basics, fundamentals and basics of grammar, and right now finally we are now on our intermediate level of grammar, or to be exact, essentials of grammar. And for us to form a very strong foundation for our intermediate level, we first have to discuss these essentials or requisites. So the very first subtopic for this essential grammar are being polite, or keigo, or formal Japanese. Because so far what we have been discussing are for kinder level or for grade 1 level or kinder level grammar for Japan. But unfortunately, we are all adults here and we have to tackle or discuss adult level conversation or grammar. And we will start that with being formal or keigo. So for this preface, for this preface or introduction, please just screenshot this, minasan, if you want to read the preface from the author. Okay, so it's quite a lengthy introduction. But it just says here that our very first subtopic for essential grammar are being polite or formal Japanese. You may screenshot this, minasan. Okay, so being polite or formal Japanese, keigo. Formal Japanese is keigo. Formal nihongo is keigo. And under keigo, well, okay. So this first topic 4.1 is polite form, keigo, polite form or teinego, and verb stems. But minasan, we've already discussed these verb stems or mass stem of a verb or extraction of a stem of a verb. If I can recall, it's on our lesson number 0014. We've already discussed the stem of a verb, discussed in lesson number 0014, how to do extraction. So we can skip that in the interest of time. And in Japan, it's very customary, and the way of living in Japan is first you have to be passive when it comes to speaking, and you have to be polite or not being rude in Japan. Okay, keigo. Keigo is a formal form of Japanese speaking or writing. That's keigo. Such is called keigo. It's actually a linguistics term which refers to honorific or term of respect, polite expression, honorific language, and even humble language. So keigo or formal Japanese is subdivided into three, namely teinego or polite language, sonkeigo or honorific language, and third is kenjogo, humble language. It's kenjogo. So why do we need to learn these honorifics, this high level honorifics? First is because when you book in hotels, or if the receptionist in hotel wants to explain to you the rules, usually what you will be the level of Japanese of that receptionist will most likely be in keigo, particularly in humble language, kenjogo, humble language, and some speaks in sonkeigo or honorific language. And if you want to in office, when you do some works or speaking to your, especially to your boss or superiors, you wouldn't want to be rude and you would like to speak in polite language, teinego. So again, keigo or formal Japanese is divided into three: polite, which is teinego; honorific, which is sonkeigo; and humble language, kenjogo. But kenjogo is usually for booking in airports and hotels and restaurants. Okay, and sonkeigo, it's also in restaurants, also in resorts. They also use sonkeigo. Teinego, usually in office, career, or formal writing. Okay, so do you remember, minasan? Okay, do you remember, minasan, this the des and da? We have first encountered the da in lesson number 6 and lesson number 8. We've learned that da, okay, or sentence ender, da. In English, if you can recall, we have the SLVC pattern, sentence pattern. It is subject verb, subject linking verb complement. In Japanese, that linking verb is placed at the end of the sentence. Particularly, the linking verb there in Japan counterpart, it is des or da. Des is a Japanese copula. What is a Japanese copula? It means it's a word that grammatically links subjects and predicates. Just like here, subject. The predicate here is the complement C. In English, we have learned we are used to having the linking verb in the middle, but in Japan, we are most likely to place that. We are placing that at the end part. Particularly, it is named as copula, and it's usually translated to English as verb to be or it is. So quite a strange pattern if you are used to English pattern. In Japan, it should come at the end, and it's a copula. Okay. And remember, minasan, we have already in informal Japanese, we are used to discussing or using this nai, which denotes negation or negative, or not. But if we are to discuss keigo or formal Japanese, the nai has a formal counterpart. Actually, that nai came from this kunyomi, from a kanji nai, which means non-existent or not being something, or simply not, or not to have not, or not, or won't happen, or simply negation. Okay, so the formal form of deny, we have the formal form of deny, and I'm just expressing that this actually came from a kanji reading, a kunyomi here. So please remember that. We go back. Okay, we go back to our. Okay, so stem of verbs or extraction of stem, we've already discussed that in our lesson number 0014. So please just go back to that lesson 0014 about the extraction of stem of verbs or mass stem of a verb. You may screenshot this vocabulary. Minasan, please just screenshot this vocabulary. Okay, but as a refresher to recall, a quick recall in that extraction of the stem of a verb or mass stem, for ichidan verbs or ru verbs, simply remove the ru to get the extracted stem. So the taberu becomes tabe. For godan verbs or yu verbs, you have to transform the last vowel or last syllabary. The last vowel, last syllabary. The dictionary form has a u sound. So that u sound will be transformed into its I sound or I counterpart in the kana table. So oyogu becomes oyogi. Aru becomes ari. Okay? So oyogu becomes oyogi. So what are other godan verbs? So let's say asobu becomes asobi. Okay? And for other special verbs, let's say suru, it's not suri but shi. Kuru, it's not kuri but ki. Kuru meaning come. Okay, so just that was just a quick recall for our lesson number 0014. Okay, so let's skip that part. Okay, and I have emphasized that one of the usage, there are three usage for that extraction of stems, and I have discussed that. One of those is the forming the keigo form or formal Japanese, and also for kanji compounding, and also for conjugation. And now, speaking of formal Japanese or keigo, we really have to learn this mas, suffixing or conjugating into mas form to make the verbs polite, or in keigo, polite, or teinego is polite. So please just screenshot these terminologies or vocabulary, minasan. Please just screenshot this for us to save time. Okay, so of course the reason I introduced the extraction of verb stem is to learn how to conjugate into mass form or keigo form or polite form. And the mass form always or oftentimes come at the end of a complete sentence, and never actually, sometimes never on the modifying relative clause. When we learn or when we discuss about compound sentences, we will realize that each sub-sentence in a compound sentence can also end in mass form as well. Okay, so to conjugate let's have the conjugation for that mass. That mass suffix is a suffix. Mass is a suffix. Okay, to conjugate to that mass form, to conjugate that, we learn the conjugation. This time. Okay, so this is the essence of extracting the essence of or purpose of extracting the mass stem. So simply, extracted stem of a verb plus mass will give you the keigo form. Just like here, asobu, meaning to play, asubu. So asubu, what's the extracted stem of asubu? Asobi. Asubu is play. So asobi plus mas, asobimas. So what is the so please screenshot this table minasan. So what is the negative form of mas? Masen. So if you want to denote the masen form or keigo form, that is non-past but negative, asobi masen. So how about the past form of past tense of mas? Mashita. So asobi mashita. This is past tense but not negative. How about the past negative form? It's masen deshita. So asobi or stem plus masen deshita. So masen. So first get the negative and then place the deshita. The deshita is actually the keigo form of that past tense. So you may screenshot this table minasan for the conjugation. Okay, let's have some examples. Many people learn from examples. Soredewa reibon wo ashita daigaku ni ikimasu. Tomorrow, go to college. Probably the speaker referring to himself. Ashita daigaku ni ikimasu. How about this? Senshu bobu ni aimashita yo. Senshu bobu ni aimashita yo. You know, I met Bob last week. How about this? Ban gohan wo tabemasen deshita ne. Didn't eat dinner, huh? How about this? 面白くない映画は見ません。About not interesting movies, do not see them. So probably a person describing himself that he or she is not interested in watching not interesting movies, or he or she describes that he or she doesn't watch movies that are not interesting. Okay, so using this is a copula and a verb to be. That's this. And please screenshot minasan this vocabulary here so that we can save time about the des. Des is also the da that we have been discussing about, the da, especially in lesson 6, lesson 8, and other lessons. So des is also a keigo form of da, or declarative da, or Japanese copula or sentence ender. So okay, so for any sentence that does not end in ru verb or u verb, the only thing that needs to be done is to add des or deshita. Sorry, deshita for past tense. You can also do this for substituted nouns or nominalized nouns, like the particle no. We've already discussed this series, particle no, nominalizing no, and the undes, unda lesson, by just treating them like regular nouns, as I have discussed in our previous lessons. Another important thing to remember is that there's a declarative da. It must be removed. In being polite, I guess you can't be so bold as to forwardly declare things the way that does. Just like the must form, this must also go at the end of a complete sentence. Here is a chart for illustrating the conjugations. Okay. In the first chart, minasan, okay, so you can see that we have a column for casual, column for polite. So the plain, say kawaii is very cute. Kawaii, let's say for example, kawaii, very cute. Kawaii desu. Kawakunai, not kawaii or not cute. Kawakunai desu. And so on and so forth. Okay. How about for na adjective? Shizuka is being quiet or calm. Shizuka desu. Shizuka janai. Shizuka janai desu. Okay. So notice that notice in the case of noun or na adjective, the past tense becomes deshita. A very common mistake is to do the same for I adjectives. Remember this, minasan. I adjectives plus deshita is wrong. Please don't attach deshita if you are using I adjectives. And this happens if you are ending your sentence. So please don't do this mistake. Okay? Okay. We have a note here. What happens with the note? Okay. Actually, that janai that we have been discussing, that janai there came from dewa arimasen. So the janai, it came from dewa arimasen, that came dewa nai, and the dewa nai becomes janai. So if you want, conversely, if you want to transform the janai into keigo form, first the ja here is actually dewa. The ja here is dewa, then plus nai, and that nai is actually arimasen. Nai for casual, arimasen for formal. Again, minasan, let me just insert this this supplement topics about the nai, iru, and aru. So nai or negation actually came from this kanji. This kanji has a kunyomi nai, meaning negation. That is nai, and you can screenshot these definitions. It's usually negation or not to be, verb not to be or not, or to be unowned or unique or impossible or won't happen. That's actually deny, the nai. Okay, so let's have a verb of aside from verb to be, like the des, we have the verb of existence. And the verb of existence, it is subdivided into two, or rather classified into two. If you are referring to objects with anima, or animate objects, or nouns that has life, let's say people, dogs, cats, people, those things have life or anima. So the verb to be or verb of existence that it should be used is this iru, and the kanji form for iru is this iru. So it says here, usually written in kana form, it's a verb to be, and it is used for animate objects or things or nouns with anima, like human or dogs or cats, okay, or birds. Okay, it's a verb of existence. It's a verb to be and a verb of existence, as you can see here. So that's iru. How about for objects that has no life, or inanimate objects, or objects that has no anima? You use aru. This aru here should not be used to mean verb of existence. This aru here, it's an intermediate kanji. This arrow here is used to say that something exists in a particular address, or something exists in a particular place, when you want to express that something exists in a location or in a place. But if you want to say arrow, verb to be or verb of existence for inanimate objects, like abstract things or concept ideas, or let's say chair, pencil, you use aru, and this is the kanji form for aru. It's a verb to be, exist. And why am I discussing this, minasan? Because I want you to be knowledgeable about the origin kanji for our iru and aru and nai. So please take a look at this, minasan. For iru, or verb of existence or verb to be for inanimate objects, these are the conjugations. Iru. Iru is an ichidan or ru verb. It is an ichidan. So iru, you just have to drop the ru, replace with mas. So iru in present, iru imas, and this is actually immediate future. Not future but immediate future. Iru imas. Okay? How about the negative present? Inai or imasen. How about the past tense? So ita or imashita. Imashita. How about the past tense negative? Inakatta or imasen deshita. So how about the aru? Verb to be or verb of existence for non-living things or inanimate objects. So the dictionary form is aru. So this is a godan verb. So the ru here will be transformed into I sound or ri. So plus mas, arimas. This is nai. This is the colloquial form or very casual form, nai. But how about the keigo form? It is arimasen. Okay, the past tense atta, but in keigo form, it's arimashita. How about the past tense negative? Nakata or nai, nakata, because the I was dropped and replaced with kata. How about the past tense negative for formal? Arimasen deshita. Arimasen deshita. Okay, how about the copula? Copula or sentence ender or declarative da. The formal form is des, and actually the janai came from dewanai. This is semi-casual, semi-formal, dewanai. But the full formal here, the full formal form for the des or da, or should I say dewanai or janai. If you want to express janai in formal, it is dewa arimasen. Dewa arimasen. How about the past tense? Before we have learned that it's datta, but in past tense formal or keigo, it's deshita. How about, and before we have learned, we have been using janakata, but actually the ja here is dewa. So it's dewa arimasen deshita. Dewa arimasen deshita. Okay. So going back with our main reference here. Okay, let's have some examples here. Okay, ko inu wa totemo suki desu. About puppies, I like very much. Okay, so but there is not enough context to rule out that the puppies like something very much. Okay, kino jikan ga nakattan desu. It was that there was no time yesterday. Sono heya wa ammari shizuka na janai desu. That room is not very quiet. This senshū ni mita eiga wa totemo omoshirokata desu. Senshū ni mita eiga wa totemo omoshirokata desu. The movie that we saw last week, senshū last week, movie that we saw, mita eiga, movie that we saw last week was very interesting. Okay, so minasan, this is the reality check. You may screenshot this annotations here, or anecdote here, but the end result is just this table. A more formal negative conjugation. So let's say for example the I adjective kawaii, meaning very cute, kawaii. So the casual is kawakunai, polite, kawaiku arimasen. Past negative, before we have learned kawakunakatta, but actually the polite form is kawaiku arimasen deshita. Okay, the negative form, this shizuka is a meaning, shizuka is an adjective meaning calm or silent, or in calm or tranquil. Shizuka janai. But in keigo or formal form, it's shizuka ja arimasen, or shizuka dewa arimasen deshita. Okay, so some more examples here. Sono heya wa amari shizuka na janai desu yo. You know that room is not, it's not very quiet. Sono heya wa amari shizuka na ja arimasen yo. You know that room is not very quiet. Okay, this is the same as that. We have already discussed that. So how about this? Yes, I will teach you some basic expressions here. Different ways to ask. You say, is that so? Is that so? If let's say you want to say, is that so? So? So ka? So desu ka? And person B or the conversant will most likely reply this way: so or soda or so desu. The first two are casual, not formal. Number 3, number 4 are formal. So desu, so de gozaimasu. Especially number 4, it's very formal because des is already formal, and there's a more formal form of des. It's de gozaimasu. It's de gozaimasu. Des is already formal, but there's an even more a more polite form of des is de gozaimasu. Or you may say sayo de gozaimasu. Sayo de gozaimasu. Okay. So there are other anecdotes here. Or you may say so da to omoimasu. So da to omoimasu. I think so too. If you want to agree, so da to omoimasu. Or you may say sansei desu. Sansei desu. Hai, so desu to kotaeta. Okay, but the more common here is here, so da to omoimasu. I think so too. Or you may say sansei desu, or I concur, I agree. Okay, so I took a lot of your time today, minasan. So sorry it took so long for me to introduce this first subtopic for our intermediate level or 2Q level Japanese grammar. Thank you for staying until the end, and sorry if I took much of your time today. Shikatanai, I really have to discuss it beyond 20 minutes. For our next subtopic for intermediate grammar, we'll be discussing about how to address people. Usually these are suffixes, but for today, we'll just have to close this lesson. Kyo wa kokomade desu. We've reached the last part, and I'm thanking that you watched until the end. Sagimade mite kurete arigatou gozaimasu. ご視聴いただきありがとうございます。ご視聴くださり誠にありがとうございます。では皆さん、また次の動画で。Very well then, I'll see you in the next video 皆さん。Thank you for watching until the end. それではみんな、終了以上です。So this is the end part 皆さん。以上です。また皆さん。Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you 皆さん。バイバイ。では、バイバイ皆さん。Thank you. バイバイ。